Hello, this is Lee Anthony Davis with another announcement video for my YouTube channel. Today is Saturday the 14th of October. A warm welcome to all of you. Just to say, I'm going to do this video really quick because I want to beat my time of 18 minutes 36 seconds. So I'll rush through this really quick. I want to try and get under 18 minutes if I can. Right, okay, I'm going to start right away. Right, this video is obviously to announce Group of the Day, Contributor of the Day, birthday announcements, a bit of Doctor Who news, updates, Doctor Who DVD collection selection, one of mine, and of course a Doctor Who quiz question and yesterday's answer to yesterday's quiz question coming up as well. Also your comments and coming up. Right, so I'll get on with it. Here we go. Right, group of the day for Friday the 13th of October. It certainly ain't unlucky for this group. It's the Doctor Who Classic. I'll say that again. The Doctor Who Classics group. And contributor of the day for Friday the 13th of October goes to Philip Fairbairn. I had to pronounce it properly because it was because it's got R at the end of it. So Philip Fairbairn. Bairn, I think it is, not Barn, Bairn. Well done to you. I'll put you all up on Facebook, my story, Twitter and Instagram later on. Right, moving on to birthdays for Saturday 14th of October. Today celebrating their birthdays is William J. Myers Jr., Cheryl Hall, Sarah E. Russo, Leonardo Simoncini and John Pope. Congratulations to all of you. Wish them well. John Pope is celebrating his 66th birthday. I thought I'd mention that. Right, moving on. Doctor Who news. This concerns the strike, the ongoing strike going on. This is to do with the writers, of course. And David Tennant has shown his solidarity for striking actors as well. They're striking on behalf of the writers who have got disgruntled with the bosses of Hollywood and, you know, of the British broadcasting companies who employ them and stuff like that, not giving them a fair deal or something like that. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the politics, but what I will tell you is that he was asked a question at the New York Comic Con by a Doctor Who fan. And he wouldn't tell them anything. He had to keep quiet because he's a member of this union. The union I'm talking about is SAG-AFTRA. SAG is the Screen Actors Guild that deals with films. AFTRA is actors for television, radio, etc, etc, etc. It covers everything from reality game shows and everything, anything to do with television. He's a member of both of these, and so are Hollywood actors. So it's a big world union all over the world, you could say. They've gone on strike, so that they come out on behalf of the writers. But the strike has officially ended. Unofficially, they're still striking, you could say. David Tennant was asked a question. He wouldn't say anything because he's under them rules. He can't say nothing anyway. He just went like that. to the fan. I'm sorry I can't give you anything about Doctor Who or give anything away, but they wouldn't do that anyway, even if they were not gagged to say anything. But that's what's going on at the moment. There's a strike, and David Tennant is offered his solidarity for the striking actors and the writers as well, because the actors are coming out for the writers. It's all one confusing mess, isn't it? But anyway, that's what's going on with that. So moving on quickly, updates. My page, the Lee Anthony Davis, the Sarah Jane Adventures page, is moved up to 20 followers. My group, the Lee Anthony Davis, the Sarah Jane Adventures group, has now moved up to 15 members. My Instagram account has moved up 1 to 112. So thank you for following me and joining the group. Thank you very much. My one and only heartwarming felt gratitude for all of you for doing that, and also on my YouTube channel where people are following me as well. I do appreciate that as well. That's why I'm trying to keep these videos down to a minimum instead of doing long ones, because they can be convoluted, boring, and you know the novelty wears off, doesn't it? And I understand that. You know, who wants to listen to me rabbit on all bloody day? You know what I mean? So anyway, I'll try and keep it short. Right, that's the end of that. Doctor Who DVD collection selection. This is series 11, Jodie Whittaker era. I'll just show you the box cover quick. This is what we call call a 3D effect. If you can see that, it starts to show movement as you move it around, as you can see, just. I'll just go through it quickly. The story that starts her off is the woman who fell to earth. It's not a bad story. It introduced you to Jodie Whittaker. It was a good start for her. She did well, but she had a lot of opposition. You could say the political side of it began to show its ugly head, and it didn't help with Chris Chibnall not giving the fans what they wanted. The Christmas Day specials, and on a Saturday he wanted to do something different. He certainly did, and some of the stories were not so good on here, like the Ghost Monument and Arachnids in the UK was obviously a very good GCI, but wasn't good enough to fool the viewer, was it? And then you had the Sarandra countdown. That bloody Pating, meant to be the most dangerous creature in the universe. How could that be when it's CGI? And it looked like something out of the Muppet Show or something else. It just reminded me of something like that, you know. It looked laughable and funny, not evil and devastating and terrifying, did it? Anyway, and then we had Demons of the Punjab. I've gone up past Rosa because it's a political story. To me, it's more of a kitchen sink drama, really, what you'd find on BBC One, doing one of those sort of Indian dramas on the British Empire. But I'm not going to go into that. Moving on to the Demons of the Punjab, that is also the same thing, really. It's just another kitchen sink drama with a few added monsters in. You could find in Harry Potter or something, but there weren't much to it, really, was it? That story, apart from these brothers fell out, and it's all been done before anyway, and it wasn't that good. I suppose Kablam could be considered one of the best stories here, about Postman Pat. And the Witchfinders, it was all right. He had a camp performance done by playing the King Charles, I think, and really, there's not a lot to be said about it. He had a few monsters, but they weren't rememberable, if you know what I mean. And it takes you away. I usually add some word in the middle called "it takes your breath away." I wasn't bowled over. That's why I'm not going to go through it all. The Battle of Ranskoor, of Kolos. Less said about that, the better. It wasn't a very good finale, you know that. I think this is where they were trying to find their feet and trying things that probably didn't work and things that did work. But it led nicely on to Series 12, which I'll go through tomorrow. But to be honest with you, it's a 50-50. It started off well, started to dip in the middle, and then it sort of tailed off at the end. And then they had to sort of come up with something better in Series 12, which they went with the James Bond theme, remember? Spyfall. But anyway, I'll get in that tomorrow. Right, moving on. I'm well in time here, so I can slow down a bit. That was... Oh, almost forgot. The moment you've been waiting for. My Doctor Who collection. I thought I'd add this one in. This is a Colin Baker, with including with TARDIS and box set. There you go, including with its box inside it. I haven't took it out, but it actually makes the TARDIS noise. It's got you put a battery in it at the back of it or underneath it or something, and you press the button and it will go off. I'm just keeping it in the box because I have no intention of taking out the box. But anyway, there it is, Colin Baker, TARDIS inside, a box set. I'll just show you around it quickly, if you can see that. There you go. So there you go. It's mine. Oh yeah, there's the logo backwards. If you look in a mirror, that always happens. But anyway, I'll show you another one tomorrow. I went and bought that one out about, let's see, 2 days ago. So I'm always on the eye for Doctor Who merchandise if it's available, and I buy it. Right, okay, that's it. I'm going to move on now. Yesterday, a Doctor Who quiz question was put upon people. I wanted to know how many episodes did Tom Baker make in his era? And the answer is 41. I also got a comment saying 42, but Sharda was not actually released and was not actually made. It was made a few episodes, I think, but they didn't finish it because there was a strike going on. That was a common occurrence in the 70s and early 80s. You know, the strikes usually put. I think in 1979 it reached its peak, didn't it? Because nothing got made, and it was to do with props that had to be moved by the prop people, and an actor had to ask permission from the prop people if he didn't want the chair there, he wanted it over there. Oh, it's a mess. Anyway, so that's basically what happened, and that's how Sharda didn't get made. It's a shame, really, because it could have been a very good story. But anyway, I will include that as well as 42. He made 42, but only 41 got aired on the screens. So anyway, moving on to another Doctor Who question. This concerns the current Doctor, the new Doctor, Doctor Who number 15, I think it is. Ncuti Gatwa, the first ever black actor to play the Doctor. But was he? Who was the first black actor to play the Doctor? Now, you can go with everything from spoof to Doctor Who. So the clues in the question, not just aimed at the television series, aimed at the spoofs that went with it as well. So think back, you might remember. Right, and he was also in it. I'll give you clues in Spyfall. There, need I say more? You can have Jo Martin. I was going to tell you that, Jo Martin, but she wasn't really the Doctor. She was a fugitive Doctor. This is Chris Chibnall's way of doing his stuff into it, but it never actually worked for me. I'm sorry about this, but I'm going to say she was the Council Estate Doctor. Sorry, I didn't mean that. But yeah, she's a good actress, but I just think the character didn't work very well. I mean, you saw her come in and come out here and there, in series 12, I think it was, at the end. And then you saw her come into it in the Flux, was it? The Flux, yeah, at the end. But you didn't really know much about I think Chibnall's idea was called the Division. You know, this was the ultimate, what the Doctor didn't know, and the Doctor was part of this, and apparently had his mind wiped. I don't believe that for a minute, because it goes off the beaten track of what the classics said he was. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I actually wrote, when Doctor Who was off air, after 1989, I actually wrote my own Doctor Who version of the beginning with Rassilon finding the Eye of Harmony in the black hole, and he manages to survive and brings it all back to Gallifrey, and it changes everything. And then you had, I did the political power bit where you had people jockeying for position, Time Lords jockeying for position, Morbius and people like that. I thought it was a good story. I didn't actually, I managed to get it to the final third, because I had to synchronise it. But I did this about 10 years ago. I've still got it somewhere, but I haven't finished it. But this is when Doctor Who's off the air. I've just put my own sort of input to it, I thought this is how I would like it to done. And I wanted to go right back to the beginning from when it all started, before the television showed him. I wanted to go really way, way, way back, like when Neanderthal man became the first to walk on the earth, and it became the Neanderthal era, so that was until it ended in 8000 BC. But anyway, so I wanted to go all the way back. I wanted to find out how far I could go back, how far I could take it, and I did. I did pretty well, but I just couldn't find the ending. I couldn't I was trying to do my best to link it together to what you recognise in from the show, Anyway, no, I'm not going to go down there. Right, okay. Here we go. Comments. Now this is important. I'm not rushing now because I'm well in within time. I've got 5 minutes to get this done, so that's going to be nice. Right, here we go. Comments. Here's your comments. Right. You're right, Lee. Been to Twitter to listen to what they call the main theme on Doctor Who. It's okay, I suppose, but nothing special. I have the soundtrack to Series 1. Here we go. Soundtrack to Series 1. And I have, and there is a great difference. The music was powerful and the emotion, and it synchronized beautifully with the action of the first series. But unlike the music of season 1, I will not be rushing out and buying it. But I will eventually buy it. but not with the same enthusiasm as when the first series came out and the music that came out with it. I was talking about the new theme tune for the new Doctor, and it's been shared on Twitter and probably everywhere else now. So it's not new now, but obviously with this guy, I'm not Aaron Baker. Thank you very much for that. He's obviously more for the first series. I'm for the first series as well because I felt that it went in a different direction. I was explaining that on the video, but it got the response I wanted. A lot of people do prefer the first series, and they wondered why has it changed so badly. Well, mate, I mean that's my bloody opinion, you know. But at the end of the day, you know, people love it. You know, they love the David Tennant way it went. I prefer the Christopher Eccleston way because it was going the right way, but there was a bit of a problem with the bosses and Christopher Eccleston. Eccleston didn't want to know. He wanted to do what he wanted to do with the role. And they started, it's like the England football team, innit? A manager picks his team and then suddenly the FA pick it for him and he becomes a yes man. Eccleston wasn't going to have any of that. And he says, no, I'm off. And that was it. You know, and the BBC tried to stop him working here, so he went to America until 2-3 years later when the hierarchy changed because of what happened with something that they could not sort of keep control of, and all was forgiven, obviously, because he did the audios. But anyway, moving on. Here's another comment quickly. Yes, I'm still in time. Actually, I could take it or leave it, but admittedly, I prefer the theme music and the soundtrack to the first season. But swung it for me to watch Doctor Who again was seeing Christopher Eccleston playing the Doctor. So obviously a Christopher Eccleston fan there. So anyway, thank you for your comments. Keep them coming. I enjoy reading them. Sometimes they're so complimentary and not so complimentary. Right, I'm going to move on with that. Here we go. What's coming up? Well, I've got Lost in Space, the what you call the cliffhanger that's coming up, and Doctor Who, an excerpt from Doctor Who's going up, and also I'll be adding Doctor Who trailers on Twitter today as well, so keep an eye out for that. So that's it. I've done it. I've gone on to the time. It's now coming up to 17 minutes and 13 seconds. Brilliant. So I'm not going to waffle on anymore. I'm going to take the advantage of getting off this video and stopping at the time I wanted. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow. Look after yourselves. Have a nice weekend and bye for now.